Hey guys, Joe here. Today I'm showing you guys my SCTE. Just recently I picked up some TLR shocks for this truck. These shocks come standard on the SCTE 2.0. One thing I do not like about getting these shocks is you cannot buy them all together. You do have to buy all the parts separate, which is pretty darn expensive. Anyways, these shocks have the hard anodized shock bodies, aluminum collars and caps as well, hard anodized, and titanium nitride shafts. One thing I did notice about the new TLR shock caps versus the TLR tuning kit version caps is they have a relocated bleeder hole that has a screw and a brass washer. The new relocated bleeder hole does a lot better job of letting out oil and air. You do not have any air trapped in the shocks. All my shocks turned out great. As you can hear, there is no noise coming from them. And they're easy to build with these caps. I cannot explain enough. One issue I did run into while building these shocks is there's a little plastic piece right there called a bottom shock cap. When I ordered all my parts and I got these in, my bottom shock caps did not fit any of the shock bodies I had for some reason. So I looked it up online and I found out that some of the shock caps had been shrunk at the factory and they did not fit. So I got another batch from my hobby shop and these ones fit on easily. So if you guys have any issues with that, do not hesitate to go to your hobby shop and get a pair, because that's what ended up working out for me. And they all fit on easily. One tool I acquired while building these shocks was the TLR shock shaft plier. This is a very nice high quality tool. However, it is expensive, but if you are going to be building shocks, I highly recommend getting one of these. As you guys can see, there are different millimeter holes for what size shock shaft you have. This tool is not soft aluminum, but soft enough so it won't score your shafts and you can really grip the shock shafts. So I did not score any shock shafts while building these, which is great. And it just made the job so much easier rather than using a pair of pliers, putting a paper towel in between. You don't have to worry about scoring your shafts. So if you guys are going to build some shocks, I highly recommend getting this tool. Moving on, I'm running 32.5 weight oil in the front and 30 weight in the rear. The oil I'm using is all associated oil. And I'm also running emulsion. Now, this is my first time trying out emulsion. I'll have to see what I think about it, but hopefully I'll like how it feels. Now, the point of emulsion is it mixes the air with the oil, so it'll have very little dampening when you're going over bumps, but it still has a lot of dampening as you're landing jumps. So hopefully that'll work out pretty good. If I don't like it, I just can put in the regular bladders. Won't be too big of an issue at all. Just a quick little update in the truck. As well as the RPM rear bumper, I did get the RPM rear bumper mount. That bolted up no problem and it looks great. Something small but still important is I did get a longer antenna. Now, I didn't get a different receiver, just a different antenna tube. The one that's included on the SCTE 1.0 is about that big to where my thumb is. And I could barely fit any in my antenna wire in there. I was afraid that I'd lose range somewhere, even though I do have failsafe. So I figured it would be a better idea to get a longer antenna. So with this longer antenna, I can fit all my receiver wire into there. And when I put a body on, it does not touch the roof since I have it bent back. So no holes needed to be drilled, and everything turned out fine. So this week I'll be getting my teak and electronics, and I'll have this guard basically wrapped up. I will also be drilling holes or Swiss cheesing my battery tray to lighten it up and take even more weight off this truck. So that's pretty much all I can say for today. Thanks for watching, guys, and please rate, comment, or subscribe.